technical and strategic support to ensure that our system is robust and interoperable within the regional framework. Linked to the National Single Window, the Electronic Certificate of Origin initiative, championed by COMESA, represents a transformative step in enhancing regional trade efficiency. By digitizing the certification process, the electronic certificate of origin reduces transaction costs, minimizes fraud, and accelerates customs clearance, aligning seamlessly with the recent partial implementation of the National Single Window. Second, through our Government in Your Hand, a platform, Eswatini has digitized public service delivery and payments for taxes and utilities. Citizens can now access services directly from their phones, linking banks to mobile money and empowering the smallest traders and entrepreneurs. Thirdly, our National Disaster Management Agency is deploying drone technology to monitor crops and enhance early warning systems against climate shocks. This has helped us safeguard food security while strengthening resilience to climate change. I am also pleased to report that our cross-border connectivity has been expanded by over 70%, making trade more efficient and resilient. Honorable Chairperson, we must fully unlock the potential of COMESA, EAC, and SADC tripartite free trade area. When we harmonize our policies, remove barriers, and share infrastructure, we multiply opportunities for our people. This is proof that regional integration works and prosperity grows when we move together. Your Excellencies, peace and stability remain the bedrock of all our ambitions. Eswatini welcomes the report on COMESA's Peace and Security Program, which underscores our region's commitment to early warning and conflict prevention. Without peace, there can be no progress. Without stability, our economies cannot thrive. At the 80th United Nations General Assembly, His Majesty King Mswati III called for ad hoc global committees to address pockets of instability, reminding the world that dialogue must be the heart of any lasting solution. At the regional level, COMESA's forums for dialogue and cooperation are vital in fostering the sense of shared destiny that binds our peoples. Honorable Chairperson, trade remains a cornerstone of Eswatini's economy, accounting for a large share of GDP and employment. We are diversifying from traditional commodities to value-added goods and digital services so that our people benefit more directly from global demand. We urge COMESA to continue supporting our integration into regional value chains. Digitalization is central to this effort. His Majesty recently committed $5 million to support micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises, particularly those led by women and the youth. Through e-commerce platforms, these enterprises can now connect with buyers across borders and across value chains. Your Excellencies, we commend the COMESA Business Council for its leadership in strengthening regional value chains in agro-processing, pharmaceuticals, and textiles. We also welcome the Horticulture Connect initiative with the European Union, which links African producers directly with European markets, improving incomes and promoting sustainable land use. As a nation with a vibrant, ambitious youth population, Eswatini believes that our young people must be at the center of our digital future. We therefore propose that COMESA considers Eswatini as the next country for one-stop shop for youth empowerment, modeled after the successful example here in Kenya. Such and initiative will ignite innovation, create jobs, and unleash the creative potential of our young citizens. Your Excellencies, in conclusion, let us use digitalization not merely to move goods faster, but also to move minds, to move knowledge and opportunities across our region. Let us ensure that no one is left behind and that the prosperity we build is inclusive, sustainable, and resilient. On behalf of His Majesty King Swati III, I reaffirm Eswatini's unwavering commitment to the COMESA vision of a peaceful, integrated, and prosperous Africa. May God bless the COMESA family. I thank you.
Next, I will call upon His Excellency Mustafa Madbouli, Prime Minister of the Arab Republic of Egypt.
فخامة الرئيس ويليام روتو رئيس جمهورية كينيا ورئيس تجمع الكوميسا، فخامة الرئيس إيفارست نادايتشيمي رئيس جمهورية بوروندي الرئيس السابق لتجمع الكوميسا، أصحاب الفخامة رؤساء الدول والحكومات، السيدة تشيلشي كابويبوي أمين عام تجمع الكوميسا، السادة رؤساء وممثلي المنظمات الإقليمية والدولية. السيدات والسادة، يسعدني في البداية أن أنقل لكم تحيات فخامة السيد الرئيس عبد الفتاح السيسي رئيس جمهورية مصر العربية، الذي يثمن انعقاد القمة ال24 للكوميسا في العاصمة الكينية نيروبي.
Is held in Nairobi and reiterates his full commitment and support for the purposes and the objectives of COMESA and wishes you a fruitful COMESA summit. I would also like to express my gratitude for Kenya government and people for their warm hospitality, and I would like to congratulate His Excellency the President Ruto for presiding the COMESA authority, and also express my gratitude to His Excellency the President of Burundi for all of his exerted efforts and the Secretary General. Egypt believes that regional integration is a great pillar towards sustainable development and is keen on participation in different programs and initiatives concerning infrastructure, energy, health, and digitization. Believing that working hand in hand is the way and is the route to take towards prosperity, and Egypt reiterates its commitment towards the AFCFTA as a strategic umbrella to raise the capacities and clusters of the economic regional areas in COMESA, and believes in all of the free trade agreements to be able to build a true AFCFTA and to be able to attract investment towards the African economy. In addition, we are keen on participating on all of the different projects and initiatives and to be able to leverage what Egypt has already reached from objectives from different digital and strategic challenges to be able to serve all of the needs of the African continent. And Egypt is committed to actively work in COMESA that is hosted and host different programs in Cairo affiliated to COMESA, and also to support infrastructure sustainability and the facilitation of trade and investment in order to raise the volume of intra-African trade within all of the challenges that we are facing. Ladies and gentlemen, this summit is in a very important timing as the world faces so many challenges along with our dear Africa. Some countries in COMETA has a lot of instability and political tension that requires more consolidation of efforts and to depend on the principles of sovereignty and integrity, and to avoid unilateral practices and actions so we can establish peace and stability in the African countries. As we can see, there's a lowering of GDP and increasing of inflation and exacerbation of the impacts of climate change, which requires enhancing cooperation to face these challenges and to strive towards prosperity through routes of investments and economic integration. In conclusion, I would like to reiterate Egypt's unwavering commitment in working with Kenya in its presiding of the COMESA authority, along with supporting all countries of the COMESA towards the economic and economic integration. Thank you so much.
Allow me to now call on Her Excellency
والآن
Vice President of the Republic of Uganda.
Your Excellency, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya and Chairperson of COMESA, Your Excellency, Evariste Ndayishimiye, President of the Republic of Burundi and the outgoing Chairperson of COMESA, Your Excellencies, Heads of State and Government, Your Excellency, Ali Yusuf, Chairperson of the African Union Commission, Your Excellency, Madam Chileshe Kapwepwe, Secretary General of COMESA, distinguished delegates, all invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. I thank Your Excellency, William Ruto, and all the people of Kenya for the warm welcome accorded to us since we arrived here in Kenya. Asante sana kunikaribisha sisi hapa mjini Nairobi, Kenya. I bring you warm greetings from your brother, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda, who due to other equally demanding state duties couldn't join us here physically, but he sends you his warm regards. I congratulate Your Excellency William Ruto, the President of the Republic of Kenya, upon the assumption of the chair of COMESA. And I thank Your Excellency Evariste Ndayishimiye, President of the Republic of Burundi, upon the milestones achieved during your tenure as chair of COMESA. I congratulate the COMESA Secretariat and the COMESA Business Council for the successful business forum which has set the tone for our deliberations this morning. Excellencies, the 24th COMESA Summit is guided by the theme, leveraging digitalization to deepen regional value chains for sustainable and inclusive growth, which resonates well with the global trends on digitalization, science, technology, and innovation to solve our problems. Excellencies, the theme reflects the barriers that technology has broken to enable us achieve our targets as COMESA member states. And I would like to congratulate again the COMESA Secretariat for the milestones. We must continue to accelerate the establishment of other complementary factors like infrastructure, electricity or energy, human resource development, peace and security, etc., in order for us to achieve modern industrialized economies. For the case of Uganda, Excellencies, wealth and jobs are in 4 sectors of commercial agriculture, manufacturing or industry, services, and ICT. Therefore, COMESA is central to our vision because today our exports to the region exceed $2 billion annually. Excellencies, while this sounds a big success, it presents both challenges and opportunities as Uganda's intra-COMESA trade still stands at only 6% of our total trade. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, permit me, therefore, to reiterate the messages which His Excellency President Museveni has always emphasized, namely, regional integration is a survival strategy. Fragmented markets confine our people to a vicious cycle of poverty. Africa's wealth lies in value addition. Exporting raw materials is self-defeating. Digitalization is a great equalizer. It allows us to leapfrog stages of development. Peace and stability are indispensable. Without them, integration remains academic. Therefore, to make digitalization the true driver of growth, we must collectively eliminate barriers to trade, including non-tariff barriers. Invest in infrastructure, energy, and digital skills. Prioritize industrialization and agro-processing. Strengthen public-private partnerships. Safeguard peace and security in our region. Harness the potential of women and youth. Excellencies, in conclusion, guided by this summit theme, let us seize the opportunities and face the challenges with unity and resolve. Together, we can build a COMESA that is prosperous, inclusive, and resilient. Uganda reaffirms her commitment to the COMESA agenda and stands ready to work with all member states to deepen integration and deliver tangible prosperity for all our people. I thank you for your kind attention.
As we continue with statements, we have 3 more statements before we go for the heads of states closed-door session. And allow me at this point to invite Her Excellency Chileshe Mpundu Kapwepwe, COMESA Secretary General, to deliver her statement. A clap for her, please, as she approaches the stage. Karibu.
Your Excellency, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya and Chairperson of COMESA Authority, Your Excellency, Mr. Emerson Mnangagwa, President of the Republic of Zimbabwe and Vice Chairperson of the Authority, Excellency, Mr. Evariste Ndayishimiye, President of Burundi and outgoing Chairperson and Rapporteur of the COMESA Authority, Your Excellencies, Heads of State and Government, Your Excellency Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, Chairperson of the African Union Commission, Excellency Wamukele Mene, Secretary General of the African Continental Free Trade Area. In the interest of time, may I stand on protocols already established and simply say, ladies and gentlemen, it is my utmost honor and a deep sense of responsibility that I welcome you all to the Nairobi 24th Summit Heads of State and Government of the Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa. The summit brings together leaders, stakeholders from the region, whose presence today is a powerful affirmation of our unity, our shared pursuit of regional integration, and our unwavering commitment to inclusive prosperity. I wish to take this opportunity to congratulate the newly elected members of the Bureau of the Authority, headed by the chairperson, His Excellency Dr. William Ruto. Your Excellency, President Ruto, our gracious host, I wish to take this opportunity to pay special tribute to you and your government and the people of Kenya. Your election as chairperson of the COMESA Authority, Your Excellency, is indeed a great, clear testimony of the confidence and endorsement of Kenya's commitment and support to regional integration agenda of COMESA. I commend Kenya for its readiness, exceptional hospitality, and professional approach in support of the successful hosting of this event. Excellencies, honorable ministers, distinguished guests, I also wish to acknowledge support and guidance that I have received from the outgoing chairperson of the authority, His Excellency Mr. Evariste Ndayishimiye, President of the Republic of Burundi, who has been at the helm of COMESA for the last 12 months. Your Excellency, during your tenure, COMESA attained several economic milestones which you presided over. Your keynote address and your statement during the launch of the annual report are rich with COMESA's accomplishments during your tenure as chairperson of the authority. I also thank your government and the people of Burundi for the support they have given during the last 12 months. This year's summit theme, leveraging digitalization to deepen regional value chains for sustainable and inclusive growth, holds special resonance. It reflects COMESA's vision to harness technology for economic transformation, empowerment of our people, and to foster a resilient future. This is especially so given the existing global trade policy uncertainties, the rising protectionism, and geoeconomic confrontations, which lead to increased tariffs, trade barriers, thereby disrupting supply chains and increasing the cost of doing business. Excellencies, we are moving with speed to digitize every aspect of our trade facilitation instruments and in the construction of world-class physical and digital infrastructure. For instance, the 2.5 billion COMESA World Bank Digital Acceleration Program is actively rolling out in 2025, targeting connection of 180 million people and digital services to at least 100 more by the year 2030. This initiative prioritizes access for women, youth, refugees, businesses, and public agencies. Besides, the Africa Cloud Ecosystem Project is the first of its kind, delivering reliable, affordable cloud services for crucial sectors like agriculture, health, education. We are sparing no effort to simplify trade processes, reduce barriers, and connect businesses across borders, thereby deepening regional value chains and increasing intra-COMESA trade. The summit, Your Excellencies, was preceded by the 18th High-Level COMESA Business Forum, which convened policymakers, regional business leaders, and development partners to forge strategic partnership and advance a vision for sustainable, inclusive growth, grounded in digitalization, regional value chains, and expanded opportunities for SMEs, women, and youth. Public-private dialogue prioritize cross-border mobility, harmonized regulations, and investor-friendly policies, laying a solid foundation for deeper collaboration and transformative actions. In addition, the COMESA Business Council also co-hosted with the EU the COMESA EU Connect, which brought together EU buyers and COMESA producers in the horticulture sector. This was a clear demonstration of COMESA's practical support to increase market access and develop value chains for our member states. On the peace and security agenda, the 20th meeting of the Ministers of Foreign Affairs was held yesterday and reviewed the progress made in implementation of various activities towards promoting peace and security. In our deliberations, let us confront persistent obstacles such as overdependence on development aid, delay in delivering commitments, slow ratification and implementation of trade policy instruments, and the digital divide, with a renewed commitment and collective resolve. Let us be bold in reform, diligent in execution, innovative in cultivating partnership, including our relationships with the African Union, European Union, World Bank, African Development Bank, and regional economic communities. Excellencies, honorable ministers, honorable distinguished guests, as I conclude, I'd like to once again extend my gratitude to you, your excellencies, and to everyone for supporting me and the Secretariat in discharging our responsibility and mandate to ensure that we realize our goals. Let us seize this historic moment to drive the digital agenda, build resilient value chains, encourage free movement of business persons, and champion sustainable and inclusive growth for the region. I thank you for your attention, your dedication, your vision for a bright future for the common market. Asanteni.
Allow me to now invite His Excellency Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, Chairperson of the African Union Commission, to deliver his statement.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Excellence, Monsieur William Ruto, Président de la République du Kenya, Président en exercice du COMESA, Excellence, Monsieur Évariste Ndayishimiye, Président de la République du Burundi, Président sortant du COMESA, Excellences, Mesdames et Messieurs les chefs d'État, de gouvernement et de délégation, Excellences, Madame Shileshi Kapwepwe, Secrétaire générale du COMESA, Mesdames et Messieurs, c'est pour moi un grand honneur de participer à ce 24e sommet du COMESA. Je tiens en premier lieu à remercier le président William Ruto, son gouvernement et le peuple kényan pour l'hospitalité qui nous a été réservée depuis notre arrivée à Nairobi, ainsi que pour les dispositions prises en vue d'assurer le succès de cet important événement. Je le félicite aussi pour avoir accepté d'assumer la présidence tournante annuelle du COMESA. J'aimerais aussi rendre un hommage appuyé à son Excellence, Monsieur le Président Ndayishimiye, pour son leadership et son dévouement au cours de sa présidence du COMESA. Excellences, Mesdames et Messieurs, fondé en 1994, le COMESA a su maintenir le cap de l'intégration stipulé par le traité d'Abuja en 1991. L'organisation a certes été confrontée à de nombreux défis au fil des années. Une complexité due à la disparité des économies des États membres, la diversité des politiques économiques et commerciales nationales et le déficit des infrastructures. Cependant, l'organisation s'est développée et compte aujourd'hui 21 membres. Elle bénéficie du plus grand espace géographique de commerce avec un PIB de 800 milliards de dollars. C'est l'illustration d'un continent qui avance à grands pas vers le progrès. La ZLECAf, et c'est à travers le commerce intra-africain que la véritable intégration se réalisera. La ZLECAf demeure notre ambition première. Elle se bâtira sur les piliers que sont les communautés économiques régionales, à l'instar du COMESA. Les investissements combinés du secteur public et privé permettront de jeter les bases d'économies résilientes. Aujourd'hui, le continent a besoin d'énergie. 600 millions de nos concitoyens africains n'ont pas accès à l'électricité. Le programme des infrastructures PIDA nécessite des centaines de milliards de dollars d'investissement. La souveraineté alimentaire reste un défi majeur. L'Afrique importe chaque année pour 100 milliards de dollars de produits alimentaires. Notre continent devra accélérer par ailleurs son processus de numérisation. Le thème de ce sommet vient à point nommé. La transformation tant souhaitée dans presque tous les domaines de la vie économique interviendra quand nous aurons la capacité de maîtriser toute la chaîne de valeur, des intrants jusqu'au produit final et sa commercialisation. Nous voyons certes des signaux positifs dans ce sens. Les jeunes du COMESA ont su se démarquer par l'innovation lors du Forum de Dakar sur les systèmes africains de production alimentaire en 2025. Je tiens à rappeler ici le formidable défi auquel l'agriculture est confrontée en raison des changements climatiques. Your
We look
Excellency,
at climate change. Ladies and gentlemen,
and open up to broader markets. More integrated groupings, such as SADC, East African Community, and COMESA, 3 regional economic communities, are mutually reinforcing each other into a union that stands as a functional model and a beacon lighting the way towards continental integration. However, these remarkable advances are confronted by recent international economic context, marked by 2 major developments: the end of AGOA on September the 30th, and the introduction of new taxes and tariffs by the US administration on African products. For 25 years, these products had entered the American market duty-free. These new tariffs undermine the competitiveness of African products in the US market, posing a threat to the growth of our national economies, especially those whose vitality depend on export volumes to the United States. This worrying situation makes the importance of EFCFTA even more pressing. Through optimal functioning, it should intensify intra-African trade. The successful completion of EFCFTA Phase 1 on protocols urgently calls for moving to the next step, applying rules and eliminating all friction points, especially persistent non-tariff barriers that are even more harmful than tariffs across all 8 of our regional economic communities. In brief, I strongly urge all regional economic communities to commit to implementing all technical requirements necessary to the CFTA to operate fully. This will bring about cumulative positive effects, driving the structural transformation of Africa's economy, a foundation for achieving Agenda 2063. My fervent wish is for the 24th Summit of COMESA, of Heads of State and Government, to make COMESA a leader in the full implementation of EFCFTA. For its parts, the African Union Commission, faithful to its statutory missions, remains available to support COMESA on its path towards its objectives. I thank you.
And the final speaker for this session, allow me to invite His Excellency Wamkele Mene, Secretary General of the African Continental Free Trade Area. Tumpigie makofi. Let's welcome him with a clap. Welcome, sir.
Your Excellency, President Ruto, and Chairperson of the COMESA Authority, Your Excellency, President Ndai Shimiye, the outgoing Chairperson of the COMESA Authority, Your Excellencies, our Heads of States and Government, representatives of Heads of States and Government, Your Excellency Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, the Chairperson of the African Union Commission, Your Excellency Madam Secretary General Kapwepwe, the Secretary General of COMESA, Prime Cabinet Secretary Mudavadi, Your Excellencies, Ambassadors, High Commissioners, leaders of the private sector, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is an honor for me to yet again participate in the summit of COMESA. I'm most grateful for the opportunity to be here today. May I start by congratulating Her Excellency Madam Secretary General on all of the progress recorded since the last summit last year. In line with this year's theme, I wish to commend COMESA for the very bold steps that have been taken under the leadership of the COMESA Authority to embrace digitalization and the digital economy as a catalyst for growth and integration. Various initiatives that have been rolled out, including the digital free trade area, the cross-border payment systems, electronic certificates of origin, as well as other digital tools, enable more efficient, transparent, and inclusive trade within COMESA. Certainly, COMESA in this regard is a shining example and model for the rest of the continent as we transition to digital trade. As the chairperson has just noted, the AFC itself has now moved from negotiations to implementation. Digitization is at the center of this transition to implementation. In this regard, a key milestone is the Protocol on Digital Trade, which was adopted by the Assembly of Heads of States and Government of the African Union in February 2024. The protocol addresses a number of critical challenges, including payments that is seamless, interoperable across regions, market access for digital products, digital trade facilitation, and most importantly, an imperative that we all share, digital inclusion. We believe where we implement the protocol on digital trade, Africa's digital economy is set to increase from the current value of 180 billion United States dollars to over $700 billion by the year 2050. At the heart of this accelerated growth in Africa's digital economy must be benefits for small medium enterprises and young people. The AFCFTA Secretariat is committed to working with COMESA to play an important role in the harmonization of digital trade rules and the deployment of digital technologies for Africa's economic development. Progress has been made in very important trade-enabling areas, such as payments. The Pan-African Payment and Settlement System has been adopted and endorsed by the Assembly of Heads of States and Government as an example of the deployment of digital tools to enhance and reduce the cost of trade in Africa. May I conclude, Your Excellencies, by making an observation that is all too obvious to all of us, and that is the current adverse geo-economic global context, which will have a materially adverse impact on many African economies. The weaponization of trade policy, increased nationalism, has an impact that will reduce Africa's share of global trade. However, I believe that we have a pathway out of this current context. That pathway is construction of a domestic market in Africa to enable the economic self-sufficiency of our continent. Modest steps have been taken in this regard. For example, in 2024, Africa recorded trade of $220 billion. More and more countries are beginning to seize the opportunities of the AFCFTA. 24 countries are currently trading under the rules of the AFCFTA. And today, this afternoon, Ethiopia will mark its first trade under the rules of the AFCFTA. Your Excellencies, modest progress has been recorded. However, more needs to be done to build the economic self-sufficiency of our continent by creating a truly viable domestic market in Africa through the AFCFTA, where no country is left behind. I thank you very much.
Can we give a round of applause to all the speakers that have spoken so far? We now will progress to the closed session of the Summit of Heads of State and Government. And I'll request that we all be upstanding as we allow the presidents, the prime ministers, and the vice president to exit while the rest of us hold on. I will guide you on our exit protocol, but let's allow the heads of state, that's the presidents, the prime ministers, and the vice president, to to kindly exit to proceed to the closed door session room, which is next door. I'll request that ministers and other delegates that have accompanied their heads of state to kindly wait as I will guide you on how we shall exit. So for now, kindly let's just allow the heads of state to exit as they progress to the closed session of the summit for heads of state and government.